Hello and welcome back to Karis's Corner. Today we are making my strawberry chocolate cake. For this recipe, you will need all-purpose flour, granulated sugar, baking soda, cocoa powder, baking powder, vegetable oil, buttermilk, salt, 2 eggs, vanilla, non-stick spray, and I almost forgot espresso powder. I'm starting off by lining 2 6-inch pans with non-stick spray and prepared parchment paper rounds. To see a great hack about how I prepare these rounds in advance, check out my classic vanilla cake recipe video. To a large bowl, I add my flour. It's important to note that flour should never be scooped out of the bag with a measuring cup, but rather spooned into the measuring cup to ensure proper measurement. Using a spoon to measure gives you the control over how much flour actually goes into the cake. Next, I add the sugar, cocoa powder, baking soda, salt, and espresso powder, and I whisk. I make sure to whisk everything very well until all of the dry ingredients are properly combined. It's important to whisk well so that no pockets of salt, baking powder, or baking soda are found in the cake once it's baked. Set the dry mix aside and grab a medium bowl. To it, add your eggs. We're using 1 whole egg and 1 egg white in this recipe. Before adding the other ingredients, I like to break up the egg yolk to make sure it gets mixed into the batter very well. To my eggs, I add buttermilk, vanilla, and vegetable oil and whisk. The mixture will be thick. Next, pour the wet into the dry and whisk together until combined. Add the warm water and mix until the batter comes together. For the full recipe and instructions, visit my blog linked in the description box below. Pour the batter evenly into 2 prepared cake pans and bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius. While the cakes are baking, it's time to prepare our fillings and decorations. Starting with the ganache, I place my chocolate and heavy cream separately in 2 heat-proof bowls. I microwave the heavy cream until it is hot but not scorched. In my microwave, this is for about 1 minute. Once the cream is hot, pour it over the chocolate and cover it to trap in the steam for about 1 to 2 minutes. After 1 to 2 minutes, remove the lid and stir until the ganache has come together completely, then set aside to cool. Next, we prepare the fresh strawberries to go in between the cake layers. Rinse the strawberries and cut 3 to 4 of them into small pieces, then set aside. At this point, your cake should have about 10 minutes or so left on the timer. I like to use this time to clean any surfaces or dishes that have piled up so that I don't have to worry about cleaning everything all at once later on. Once the cakes are done baking, remove them from the oven and place them onto a cooling rack to cool for about 20 to 30 minutes at room temperature. Once the cake pans are cool enough to handle, flip the layers out of the pans and place back on the cooling rack. Then place in the refrigerator to continue cooling. We want these cakes to be completely cooled before adding the decorations. While the layers are cooling, we prepare our strawberry buttercream. First, blitz the freeze-dried strawberries in a food processor until it becomes a fine powder. Then, in a large bowl or the bowl of a stand mixer, add softened butter and mix on low before adding the powdered sugar. Once the butter is creamed, add the powdered sugar in 1 cup at a time, making sure to mix on low at first. Turn up the speed and let the mixture mix for about 1 minute. Next, sift in the strawberry powder and continue to mix starting on low and then increasing to medium-high speed for 3 to 4 minutes until the buttercream becomes light and fluffy. Add vanilla, heavy cream, and salt and allow to mix for another minute or so. Scrape down the bowl, making sure all the ingredients are mixed in and set aside. Once the cakes are completely cooled, remove them from the refrigerator and level them with a serrated knife. This will help us to make sure that the cake is level in the end. Prepare a cake turntable by taping down a cake board. Then fill the cake with strawberry buttercream, creating a dam that will hold in the fresh strawberries and a drizzle of chocolate ganache. Be sure to check out next week's blog post and instructional video where I go in depth on how to frost a cake. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to be alerted when it comes out. Here I am frosting the cake by adding frosting to the sides and top of the cake in a thin layer called a crumb coat, which, like the name implies, traps in the crumbs. To make sure the crumbs stay sealed, I'll pop the cake in the fridge for 10 minutes or so to let the frosting harden. Then I remove the cake and repeat the process, covering the cake with a thicker layer this time. Once the cake is frosted with clean edges, I pour chocolate ganache over top of the cake until there is only about an inch of cake on the top that isn't covered by ganache. To do this, you might need to reheat your ganache in the microwave for about 15 seconds or less, so that is a pourable consistency. Then, taking a small offset spatula, I gently push the ganache over the edges, decorate with more fresh strawberries, and there you have it, the perfect strawberry chocolate cake. Thank you so much for baking with me today. Please like, subscribe, share, and follow me on Instagram at Karis's Corner. I'll see you guys next time.